good.
to watch the cows get brought back, and he got into the back of a pickup truck to get there because they've been bringing up people in the back of pickup trucks a lot. He brought up the fact that you couldn't hear the loudspeaker, that it was broken up, and he realized that there was a potential for getting hurt by the BLM because the BLM were pointing weapons, and that he brought his gun with him but left it in the car, but he did bring it with him. Talked about how the FBI showed up at his home and his work because of an employee putting something out there, and that he got a lawyer and then continued that after that way. And they signed a property agreement before he met with the FBI that his words would not be used against him. So then Mark Casey got up there and said, "So you believe the BLM were taking a task force to go get the cattle?" You go into the watch and you see the prayer. Rifles were pointed at you. That's why you went behind the concrete barrier. He said yes, we almost had rifles pointed at him. He went to the freeway and noticed the guys with the guns on the freeway. He was taking pictures and then realized he was the guys with the guns were in between him and the BLM and that he was in the line of fire. So then he goes back down. He brings up the crack in the barrier is very thin. Engel gets up and talks about the BLM talking on the loudspeakers, and people got worried, so that's when they had the prayer. People were worried that they were going to be hurt by the BLM, and they decided to have the prayer. And that's when, after he went under the bridge to take cover, he saw the BLM leave, he saw Metro arrive, and he was Leventhal goes up there and tries to enter his Facebook posts because they brought all these pictures in, but they didn't bring his commentary from his Facebook posts in. There was a lot of objections going back and forth there, and they did not allow his Facebook post to come in because it's his commentary on the days of the actions of the event, but his testifying is commentary on the actions of the event. So it's kind of weird how they wouldn't let his Facebook post in with that commentary. Then it was just brought up again that he believed he was going to be shot, and the people that were pointing guns at him for no reason were the BLM. Then it was brought up that they took stuff off his Facebook page that was no longer to be able to be seen on his Facebook page, and that he wrote general statements that were not on the photo that they did enter later. They entered one of his Facebook posts, and they had a portion of the picture cut off because he had written something on that portion of the picture, I believe. Yeah, something. He was asked on the way to the wash if he heard of a plan or anything. He said no. It seemed like everyone was on their own. No one directed him. What he saw on social media to get him there, they were trying to bring up the videos again, but that was objected to. Perez got up and once again brought up the comments on the photos and things that he had posted on Facebook. He talked about he did that when he got home from the trip, and it was personal observations of what he saw. He said there was no media in the wash, and he wanted to let people know what was going on. He was asked if he posted any impressions that he had at the time, and it was yes. Did you get a sense of why they were doing the things that they were doing? That was objected to, and he couldn't go into it. He did say that he felt threatened by the BLM that day, and he did not feel threatened by the men on the bridge. He said no, he did not get the feeling they would hurt anyone. So he said, did you see anyone or hear anyone giving orders? No. Did you see anyone who was the boss of the people on the bridge? No. In the wash, he said the only guy that he saw was the guy that led the prayer. Other than that, no. Then they brought up Special Agent Mark Sealer, and he's been at the FBI over 21 years, and he is the guy from Montana. He is brought in pretty much, he's the Facebook monitor of Ryan Payne's Facebook, and Ricky Loveland and Jerry Burkhart. They bring up the OMA website page and pretty much read their entire website page, the beginning of it, their statements, their who, what, when, where, why, mission statement, all of that kind of stuff. Then they go in, you know, these are all objected to. First off, the MOA website page was put up way prior to the event. It doesn't have a lot of relevance. It doesn't have a lot of relevance to many of the people. I mean, there might be some relevance, like one person, Ricky. Some of the evidence was entered only against Ricky and not against everyone else. Others was against put in against everyone. At this point, it just gets extremely boring. The agent is not really talking much. They're showing Facebook posts from people. The first Facebook post is from Burkhart to Payne, possibly. Second post is by Payne. You know, their comments back and forth. Then they start bringing up actual Ricky Loveland's Facebook. Then they start bringing up people from Texas. They're bringing up other people's statements on Facebook. They bring up Carol Bundy and put her as a co-conspirator now. She is an unindicted co-conspirator, as well as anyone else that's been mentioned that's not in the indictment are now being said they are unindicted co-conspirators.
Who's saying that, the prosecutor or the judge?
The prosecutor, and the judge, because she's entering it as unindicted co-conspirators. So it's not just the prosecution, it's the judge. They're going in and they're saying, well, this statement goes to an unindicted co-conspirator.
Well, I thought the judge...
Can't say that?
Yeah.
She says 501-2-E or something like that. But she actually did slip up and say co-conspirator statements twice today. So did one of our lawyers also, though, so I don't know how that goes. They bring up Carol Bundy's posts. They're bringing up people's private messages. They're bringing up groups' private messages. So there's a group between a bunch of different militias from all these different states, and they're bringing up all of those. And each of the documents have a list of 200 people that it's sent to. Like, here's your list of 200 people, and there's like one comment that they're using out of this. We actually got to the end of it, and she allowed one piece of evidence in, and then at the end of the day, she was like, well, because they literally read one comment from the piece of evidence. It wasn't from Ricky. Ricky didn't respond to it. So she's saying, well, I don't see how you're saying that he even read this. He's on a group chat with a bunch of different people. He's supposedly driving at this time. She wants more evidence to see how this is actually going in and how it will continue to go in. At that point, that is when we left. They've mentioned probably like 8 to 10 new names, unindicted co-conspirators on chats and Facebook posts. So the judge is saying that she wants more evidence on this? She wants more evidence on how that pertains to Ricky, or how he actually, you could tell that he actually viewed this, because it's a group chat. In a group chat. So I'm not sure, yeah. She's saying that they need to prove that Ricky actually read or responded to this message, or else it'll be forgiven. Because they brought it in, but then they only read one message, and it wasn't Ricky that read it. They need to prove that he said something or did something because of this message for it to be evidence. And so that's kind of where we left it at. The government was going to bring a bunch of stuff up and was asking for a little more time right after that was said, and that's when we decided to take lunch. God, I can only imagine this jury. it's really confusing and boring in there. People were falling asleep again, you know. We're all sitting there. The guy on the stand's not even talking except for to read someone's Facebook posts or these private message chats. The jury's sitting there like thinking, probably some of them are thinking, well, have I ever written something in a Facebook chat that if you were to read it out of context would be something like this? We're all confused. We're all confused.
It's so boring.
Not a lot of things, you know, seem relevant to anything at this point.
It's kind of interesting today. I shared a post out there. Apparently, Facebook is coming to the rescue for protesters and demonstrators and is going to start keeping Facebook data away from police and
And another thing that I noticed in there is it seems they get a warrant for one person's Facebook page and one person's emails because they, you know, they talk about how they have Ricky Loveland, Ryan Payne, and Jerry Burkhart's email addresses all indicted, you know, get the warrant for all of that. But then any email you send out that's like to 200 plus people, all of those people's information is in there. So does that give them an open door to those people's emails? It didn't really touch it inside, but you definitely see like they've got it into one person's group chat and there's, you know, a bunch of people in that group chat that they're now completely open to. Same thing for these group emails. So I don't know where that exactly stands, but it's convoluted and it's really confusing.
All right. Well, so what are we expecting this afternoon?
We're expecting a lot more Facebook. This guy's taking forever. I don't even know. This last piece of evidence they entered was like something like 200 pages long because each message underneath of it shows the vast amount of people who were responding or who were on the group chat. So every like I agree has this giant list of everyone who was on the chat after that and then goes through. So they're picking and choosing one statement out of a 200-page document to read to the jury and then moving on.
And then accrediting it to 200 people.
No, and then crediting it to the group of 6 in the room that aren't even on that list of 200 people, except for one. So that it's just mind-boggling.
Andrea, we'll get back with you this afternoon. Everybody will be doing an update after court somewhere around 4:35 o'clock.
Thank you all for watching.
Yeah, I'd say my connection's weak too.
Is it saying that to yours too?
For a second, it just said my connection is weak. Now it says it's doing okay.
Is that FBI dude in there with his little laptop?
Just connect to that FBI surveillance Wi-Fi.
Oh, I gotta go live.
All right, who's doing mine?
Okay, over here.
Okay, so we went back in today.
Shit.
Okay. Anytime you
Damn it, man.
All right, so we went back in today with this FBI agent, and it continues to bring up posts. These are all Facebook posts. Some of them are videos. Most of them are from co-conspirator statements. So they just keep bringing in Facebook posts from different people stating, well, this is a new unindicted co-conspirator, and this is a new unindicted co-conspirator. In fact, Ricky's sister is an unindicted co-conspirator. You know, they one after another, and they're all the lawyers are objecting to this. They're objecting to the relevancy of the evidence to all of the people because some of it might be relevant to Loveland, but it's not relevant to everyone else. I mean, we're watching private message between Ryan Payne and Texas Militia North Texas. You know, that came up quite a few different times. There's these personal messages between those two people. How does that have anything
Not even on trial.
How does that have anything to do with the guys that are in trial right now? The government, their case has been really weak today. They haven't really proven anything on the inside, and they have to continually stop and try to redact things from what they're entering, try to come up with correct. They played a video that stopped halfway through, and then they're like, we're having technical difficulties, and they have to fix that. And then they got the video fixed halfway through, you know. Everything that they've done today, they've taken more of our time trying to get their stuff correct and presented properly. They're also, the defense is saying that a lot of the information wasn't given to them in appropriate time. It was given to them in the giant stack of discovery, but there's supposed to be some kind of written deal that says that when they're going to enter it, and they're claiming they weren't given notice of it. The judge is stating that they were given notice of it if it's in their discovery, and that they had something written in their exhibits about it. I'm not sure about that because I'm not a lawyer. Pretty much all day long it's been Ryan Payne. Ryan Payne, a little, like, you know, and they say Ricky's Facebook account, but literally we've heard maybe 2-3 comments from Ricky. They've brought up news articles. The lawyers have said, well, you know, you tell the jury not to read any news articles, but you're going to bring up these news articles. Then they redact it and just use the 2 lines that were quoted from Ricky with his Facebook post that says, well, at least they didn't use the whole interview, but at least they misrepresent what I said. We've got, you know, Southern Nevada Watchdogs posted a video. We watched that video. Ryan Payne calling into a radio show now. Ed and Ethan show as co-conspirators. They could probably call names of other conspirators. The lawyers asked, well, can we get a list of all the unindicted co-conspirators so that way we at least know that they're not just making it up as they go along? That was like no, and moved right on from that. So pretty much anybody's comment can come into court under co-conspirator, whether it's relevant or not to the case, and they're just going to allow it upstairs. All day long, every piece of evidence has been objected to. We ended the end of the day with the FBI agent apparently had an interview with Eric that was recorded, and they were going to play 1 minute of it. Of course, they did not have that 1 minute portion set aside for the lawyers, just like the lawyers have been saying, you know, they're trying to enter this information, but they don't have it. So they called for a couple minutes early for the night so that the defense could watch the 1 minute, which I'm sure the interview wasn't 1 minute, but so they can watch the 1 minute part of that interview and be prepared to defend it. There was also a portion of video that was introduced and the defense didn't have it, and they said, well, it was because they just found it. And that is of the stage later on, and Cliven Bundy asking people from the crowd to tell him what was said the day of the 12th, before they went down. And he had Todd Engel come back. Engel represents what Cliven said. He almost got it, but he misrepresented a few things. Apparently later in the video, Cliven corrects that, but they didn't show that portion. They just showed the portion where the misrepresentation was Todd Engel said that Cliven had sent people to go get their guns and go down there. And that's not what he actually said, but because Engel said that and they didn't show the part where Cliven corrected him, that's been introduced. I guess they'll have to get a cross-examination. That's pretty much all I have for today.
Thank you. All right, thank you. We'll see y'all tomorrow, 8 a.m.